collectively and individually and among ourselves about how fortunate we are to have the staff that we have, and a lot of our citizens have told us that, and it's always good to hear. But we knew it already. Ed, would you like to take over with? Let's talk a little about the past as far as the public works and the street division, and some of the accomplishments.
Be happy to. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it's a real pleasure to recognize our street division this evening and to report to the mayor and city council what happened. This is the storm event, February 11th to 14th. I didn't realize it actually had a name. They're now calling all these storms names, and it was actually called PAX. So that is what we had from February 11th to the 14th. But this particular storm was a snow event, and it brought our street department to the front and center. Sometimes we'll have an ice storm, and then the electric crews move into the center stage. Sometimes there's a major fire, and it's the fire department or the police department. In this case, it was the street department, and it was one big snow and another snow on top of it. And we in the South don't have all the equipment that they have in other places, but we have some, and a lot of hard work. People in Public Works always remind me that it's the one department that actually has work in its name. And so this is Public Works, Street Division, and we all owe everybody, all of the employees that work so hard, a big thank you. And we wanted to thank you today and report to you that some information we provided. There's a little sheet here, and I'm going to introduce Dale Denton in just a minute. He'll go over a little more information there. But in these storm events, a lot of things happen that you don't think are going to happen. One of the things that happened to us is that we lost 2/3 of our outside telephone lines. We have 3 lines that feed the city. 2 of them went down for no particular reason. Windstream is responsible for bringing that to the city. They were nowhere to be found. Our communications people, our IT people, were able to patch things together. So we had 24 lines coming into the city for customers where we normally have 74. So that was a little bit of a problem. And there were other things that occurred, and they always do occur with events like this. But we do a lot of pre-planning. Public Works and Streets were prepared. Also, safety is a critical piece of any kind of an operation like this. And we're so pleased that we didn't have any safety incidents, that everybody came out of this without injury, and that's always important for the city. So let me introduce now to you Dale Denton, who is our Division Manager of Field Operations, to talk a little bit more about the specifics and also to introduce our folks from the Street Division.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On behalf of the Public Works and Utilities Department, Public Works Division, first I'd like to actually probably clear the room. If all the city employees that worked on this snow event could come and maybe stand right here behind me. Pretty please.
What's his name?
This is a small group of the folks that participated. It's an honor to work with each one of them. Been working with these folks for years and years. Just a little background. The snow event, we started preparation for that on Monday, just before the snow. We actually, and I'll give you a few pictures here to look at as we kind of move through this. This is our snowplow inventory. We have 15 snowplows that we attach to trucks. On those trucks, we have 10 that are equipped also with sand spreaders. show you here. This is some of our employees actually loading one of those spreader units. One of our employees actually adjusting one of the spreaders on that unit. Here we're preparing one of the tailgate spreaders. The city actually has a snow and ice removal agreement with North Carolina Department of Transportation, where we get reimbursed for our expenses, labor and equipment for these type events. Here we are actually in just one picture we had of actually in operation with one of our tandem trucks, equipped with a snow plow, and that was actually on Franklin Boulevard. During this event, we put out approximately 200 tons of slag, which is a sand and salt mixture, a 3-to-1 mix. We also distribute pure salt in some areas, and we used approximately 100 tons of salt. Some of the costs that were involved totaled up to about $34,000 just on the public works side. And some of those items, fuel, as part of that process. Snow blades, after you scrape over a period of time, those have to be replaced. Our fleet staff was on call, running the same 12-hour shifts that we were, and actually kept us on the road there. About $11,000 in overtime hours, and almost $16,000 just in materials, sand and salt for this event. There was a total of about 65 employees who worked overtime. 42 of those folks came from the Public Works Division. 13 of those were still in our department in Public Works and Utilities, but that was the utilities maintenance folks. They went out and helped scrape intersections. They also cleared parking lots, all the fire department parking lots, the police department. And then we had 10 folks from Fleet that worked out of the garage. Again, they worked the same 12-hour shifts that we did and kept us going there. About 700 plus total hours during those 12-hour shifts that were worked in overtime. Our admin staff, although I know some of the phone lines were down, I think every phone line that was available went to our admin staff, so they fielded a lot of calls for us, tremendous amount of calls. I've been at the city 27 years, been working in this facility down at the Operations Center, the better half of that. Probably one of the best showings of teamwork throughout the city. Electric department helped us again with parking lots, scraping. We had the fleet, our admin staff, utilities maintenance, another division in our department stepped up and helped us, also worked overtime hours. We coordinated with the police and fire. We had issues where ambulances couldn't get down to address the needs that were going on for them, and we actually cleared the way in some cases to get those ambulances in there. I think we pulled a couple of ambulances out of the ditch. So a lot of effort going on there. Matt, is there anything I'm leaving out? Anything you want to add? Okay, guys, am I forgetting anything?
Sanitation called, offered assistance.
Yes, thank you. Dee Dee Gillis at Sanitation called every day to check in with us. Although sanitation, couldn't run because of the snow during certain periods, she actually checked in with us every day on a regular basis, just making sure if we needed help, they had other folks available to us. So just a really good team effort. Again, it's an honor to work with these folks. Very, very proud to call them my team and really kind of my other family. What I'd like to do is have each of them step up. If you have just a few minutes of time, let them introduce themselves, kind of put a name with a face. We did follow our emergency plan for snow and ice removal. This kind of dictates the priority of the streets where we go, priority 1, 2, 3, 4. kind of an order. As you know, it starts out pretty much with the main roads, Garrison, Franklin, all the state roads, kind of those main arteries is where we start. We did pre-slag. DOT uses a brine type application as a pre-treatment. We use slag in lieu of that, but we were able to get out and pre-slag some streets and all of our bridges. That's part of that protocol in this plan. But I think overall it went very well for us. We were proud. We have a lot of new employees who had not pushed snow before, and those guys stepped up to the plate and actually acted just like veterans. So very proud of them. But if you guys will, and ladies, if you'll just step up and
Dale, just-
introduce yourself.
Dale, just let us know what they did also, if they don't mind saying, you know.
Okay, absolutely. Kenny, start us off. And I'll do this too, quickly. Kenny Glenn and Randy Bell ran the show, hands down. They really did. I get to be the guy that gathers information from them if I'm not out in the street, and I know they are. Tell me what's going on, what are we doing? All that input is just me gathering that from these two guys. They ran the shifts 12 hours apiece, and they both, I know, overlapped at times, stayed a little longer than they probably should have, but that's just dedication to the city.
Good evening, everybody. Kenny Glenn, City of Gastonia, Operations Manager.
I want to ask,
Well, go right ahead. Yeah, go on. Got a question?
may I ask a question?
You sure may.
Mr. Glenn,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
you're not going to retire anytime soon, are you?
As soon as possible.
We want you to stay there as manager.
Yeah, I think my time's up, so I'm going to step out gracefully.
Well, thank you for everything that you have done for this city over the many, many, many years in many, many areas, and you have been a wonderful role model to an awful lot of city employees.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Randy Bell, Assistant Division Manager of Public Works. Just like to take a moment and thank each of these men personally. Outstanding group, really came together, just was relentless. There was no stopping. I'd also like to thank our wives for backing us, being there, because we were out late, and they would worry, but we all made it home safely. So thank you, Father, for that, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
The 12-hour shifts, excuse me, that we ran actually enabled these men to go home and get some rest and spend some time with their families before they were right back at it again. So thank you for allowing us to work the shifts the way we did.
Daryl Manley, motor equipment operator, snowplow removal, and the big tandems.
Bill Newell, and I push snow and spread slag.
Beth Helton, I'm the administrative assistant down at Broad Street.
Dale Helton, I work at Fleet Maintenance. Many blades, many chains.
Name's Danny Sperlin, plowed and hauled snow, and we also slacked.
I'm Mark Duncan, field supervisor of street department. My main job is to help direct these trucks to put them where they needed to be and to keep them running all night.
I'm Kathy Jenkins. I'm with the administrative staff, and I answered a lot of phones.
Excuse me, what was your name again?
Kathy Jenkins.
Ed Sprout, field supervisor, pretty much kept the trucks going down the road.
I wanted to interject. If you hadn't seen his face on news, media, in the Gazette or anything, just it won't be long. He'll be back in there again. The running joke with us is that Ed will push you down and run over you to get in front of the camera.
James Clemens, I slagged and pushed snow for Public Works.
George Sadler, a regular job, street sweeper operator, and my main job in pushing snow was dump truck and plow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Nathan Starr, plow snow, slag. Also a member of the concrete crew. Just want to put that out there.
Good afternoon. I'm Bobby Gill. I drive a dump truck. I'm always wanting change on it. Thank you.
Paul Alexander, water and sewer. We help to clear intersections and all during the snow.
Michael Ryan, crew chief, water and sewer department. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, pushing snow is that 15th hat that these guys wear. They're assigned to certain crews, but when we go through our interview process, we tell them when all is said and done, you can be on any crew at any time, at any point in the day. You may change the job 4 times in one day. So I think you saw the integrity, the honesty, and the humbleness in these guys. It's just the type of guys that we have. They're awesome. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Mr. Hackett.
Yes, sir.
Everybody here feels and did a great job. I saw them down. My house is a block from Garrison. I didn't see Garrison's kitchen window. I saw those dump trucks, 3 of them, one right behind the other, coming down it, turned around in the road, headed back on down the road, just getting it. They weren't slow. They were getting that work done. But let me ask you this: have you heard the weather? But maybe another storm was coming.
No.
You hadn't heard that?
I've heard rain on Friday.
My wife was listening to the weather. She said that one of the meteorologists said something about we might have another one of these. But
No.
I didn't misunderstand what she said.
A lot of praying guys
Next
back
week is-
here.
Throw that out.
Chris,
Just to kind of piggyback on what Councilman Porter said, I was fortunate enough that I can work from home. So the first couple of days I didn't even leave the house, but on the 3rd day I did have to go out. And I saw on 3 different occasions our plow trucks. And when I found out we only had 15, I was amazed because it seemed like they were everywhere. And they were clearing the road. And these guys are good pushing snow. I mean, they say I push snow, but let me tell you, they're good at it. I mean, I was amazed. And so I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm glad one of them mentioned the wives because I know it's hard on the families to be without their husbands while they're out there working in that weather. And I don't know about the rest of the council, but I would just like to give them a standing ovation.
we're going to get to that.
We're going to get to
You
that.
got another question
Okay.
here.
Dale,
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for your emails to Ed, because Ed forwarded them on to us, keeping us abreast, because there are a lot of people that were calling us at our houses and stuff, and that information was vital and real helpful, and I just want to say thank you. Oh, that's excellent.
Ron?
Dr. Curlin, Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, one question and then a comment. The first question is with regard to the state. You said, we were doing a lot of state roads, and so you gave us kind of a total of some dollars spent. Will some of those dollars be offset by some state monies that we'll receive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll get reimbursed for the majority of our manpower, our hours, costs for materials, vehicle, all that.
Yeah, which is great. So the other thing is I just want to thank you all because, typically in these weather situations, everyone is warned, do not go out, do not get on the road. And here you all are the ones that had to risk your lives to get on the road, to get to work. And that means a lot to me, and it means a lot to this city because it was pretty rough there for a while, as you well know, because you were out there. But, and I know you all have different kind of vehicles, but still, it was not really safe for most vehicles to be out there. But thank you for making that effort and being there for this city. And obviously, it was a successful result, and no one was injured, right, from your staff? So, I mean, you know, if there's no accidents, that's just a wonderful thing, so thank you.
No accidents, no injuries, and just wanted to say, kind of in response to what you commented about these guys coming from everywhere, we have men that live in Charlotte, Mount Holly, Stanley, Fort Mill, help me, Randy, York, South Carolina, Lincolnton. They're coming from long distances, yeah, to be here. Very dedicated men and women.
Move Mr. Kimball now. Back to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of things. Number one, what I saw through some of my experiences from living in the Northeast many years and being involved, one word really came to mind, and it also kind of started off with you, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Munn, pre-planning. I saw that we declared our state of emergency early. I know from a fiduciary standpoint that allows us many, as you said, Dave, many funding streams may become available, but they would not had you not taken the decisive action at an early point. And secondly, also, I think a thank you goes out to our residents, many of whom took the initiative to shelter in place and stay off the roads, as you indicated, Todd, to allow them to do, these folks here, to do their jobs without having to go around a lot of parked cars and maneuver around folks that were trying to maybe not really go out for a real good purpose. And I think that was our residents did a great thing by heeding those warnings and sheltering in place. And Ed, I assume through the state and federal declarations, we'll be pursuing some of that possible reimbursement avenue.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, Mike,
A question. In case so many of these lady and the fellows live a good distance away from here, what if they got snowbound and they didn't want to try to get back home? I know you have a couple of four-wheel vehicles, but it still take quite a while to get home. Wouldn't be safe. Do we have facilities where they could bunk down somewhere and showers? And if they brought in a change of clothes, if they had to stay, if it was absolutely necessary, if they couldn't get out and go home?
We actually, I'm glad you brought that up. We graduated this year. In the past, the old SOP was we have a tool room where we keep supplies, seed bags, fertilizer, and I've never done it, but my understanding from some of the veterans is a seed bag can sleep well. and we've done that in the past. This year we actually purchased some air mattresses, blankets, pillows. We had some food supply. So we set that up exactly this year, knowing this was going to be as bad as it was, and letting them stay at the MOC. And we had some men that actually blew those air mattresses up with a pump and stayed the night. And thanks for allowing us to do that as well.
I was going to say, you mentioned some of them, or we have some employees from Lincolnton. Mm-hmm. Are any of them here tonight?
Yes. Mark is, Iron Station Way.
You go home, you hold your head high, because I was talking to the Lincolnton mayor when this was going on, and he made the comment, "Are you guys faring okay?" And I said, "We're doing great. We got some of the best guys around."
Absolutely.
When you go out, you hold your head high. I told him we had the best, and he agreed. He said we were faring a lot better than they were. So.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much. If there's no other questions, and certainly we want to thank everyone. And Dale, I want you to tell them we want to thank those that aren't here, but especially those that work so hard. And yes, let's do it.
And if they'll come by and let us shake their hands.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much. Kenny, thank you very much.
you.
Randy,
You can't
thank
go,
you.
Kenny. I'm not letting
Thank
you
you.
go. Well,
Thank
I know. We're
Huh?
going to miss you.
She can't.
You're good.
She's got to stand up, though.
Thank
Here.
y'all.
Thanks, Dale. Great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank
you very much.
everything.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
very
to
much.
see you. Good
Great
to
job.
see
Thank you very
Really,
much.
That's a great
Thank
way
you
to
for
go
all
out.
you're doing.
Positive
We
note.
appreciate
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. I saw y'all at the
Hey, thank you very much.
You're going
I
Appreciate it.
did. Good to see you.
Thanks again, buddy.
Thank you for
Thank you very
everything.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Carol,
We
good to see you
appreciate
again.
it.
Thank you very
Uh-huh.
much.
Thank you again for all your hard work. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Good to see you. It's been a while. Huh?
Great job, man.
I know you did. We're getting ready to
You're
start
the man.
phase 2,
Good
too.
job.
I'm going to need all the help I can get.
Great job,
Good
man.
to see you. Thanks.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Thanks again, man. Great job. Thank you.
Well, they did do a marvelous job, and it certainly we hope that they get quite a break before they have to do it again.
Mayor, can I ask one quick question?
Beg your pardon?
Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
You mentioned the phone's been down with Windstream. Have we gotten that worked out, and do they understand that they can't be a no-show during emergency situations?
Yeah, we've expressed that rather clearly. We are actually going to be having a meeting this week with them. The service was not what we expected, and it shut we had no communication coming out of the police department. Now, 911 was working, but no phone service at all at the police department, right as the storm hit. And then they didn't come. We asked them to come, and they wouldn't come. And so finally, our folks patched something together where we could have some connection, some communication. But yes, we're going to have a serious conversation with that firm and express our real displeasure about the kind of service that we got. And so we'll go from there.
The phone's being down bad enough, but no phones coming out of the police department, that's just unacceptable.
Well, and they also needed to come and help us to try to resolve it, and they didn't, and that's the problem. And so, because our business, we're the city, we police, fire, water plant. These things have to work, and they have to work. And if sometimes they do break, but we need partners in communication, as well as our other infrastructure. They've got to be there in these emergency events.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Mr. McAteer.
Why don't we have AT&T? First question, I have another.
All right.
Why don't we have Windstream?
Well, this communications world we live in now is a little complicated. It is an AT&T line. Windstream is one of the contractors that the way the AT&T line comes in, Windstream then makes the connection from AT&T to us. So in the complicated communication world, they're in the middle here.
Another comment real quick.
Yeah.
I live a half a block from 321, and I noticed all the traffic was being detoured right up my street. So I put on a heavy coat, got an umbrella. I was just pouring snow, went down there, and I want to say that there were 2 city electric trucks down there. Some guy had a wreck, and I saw the pole, knocked the pole, broke it, knocked the whole pole down. That crew came down there, put a new pole up, just rewired, took my neighbor 2 houses down, knocked his whole service on the back of his house. He's a pharmacist, and he said to come home with that, but they had an electrician that was supposed to come out, pouring snow. But these guys are out there, got 6 of them doing a great job up in the bucket and getting everything put back together at poles. So I want to give them credit too.
We had someone hit a hydrant and knocked the hydrant out, and there was water going all over the place, and our guys dug through the snow down into the water to try to find the valves to get them off, and so all that was going on at the same time too.
Ron?
Yes, sir.
And when we talked to that vendor specifically, a concern, and you started to really mention it, when our basic phone lines go down to police headquarters, what that has a tendency to do is then overload the 911 system, which can suffer a catastrophic failure during a storm like that, because you have all of those calls being routed in where, frankly, they're not emergency calls going over on an emergency line that can actually cripple the whole trunking station. And they need to understand that even though that's not a 911 line, the non-emergencies are in a storm like that or a potential emergency to have them up?
Oh, absolutely, because there were a lot of service calls that were not 911 calls.
Exactly.
And a lot of communication that we had to do, because you heard our street department was having to move snow so the ambulances can get into other places. And so, yes, all that is absolutely critical. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a good presentation. Thank you. I'm so glad that they were here. Item F is the public expression, and each person